Hey, honey!
Yeah, what's up?
I'm having a real problem with this episode. I don't know which playlist to put it into. It's not a recipe roulette. It's not a retro review. It's not one of my nerdy things. It's kind of like one of our bonus episodes, but it's more like a featurette.
Maybe we have a new playlist and put it on Fridays.
Yeah, but what do we call it?
Hey everybody, welcome to another Friday featurette. So today we're making English muffins. And these were used in a couple episodes of Recipe Roulette a couple weeks ago when we did the air fryer breakfast sandwiches. So for your ingredients, you're going to need 2.5 cups of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast, 2/3 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of water, and a tablespoon of butter. Catspy's looking very excited about all of this dairy here, which he is not welcome to partake of. I'm going to take you down, Catspy. Okay. Cat hair now everywhere. Don't want that in your English muffins. Okay, so we're gonna put the flour into a big mixing bowl. Combine that with our yeast. Mix briefly. If you're not using salted butter, then you can also add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and you would put that in the stage as well. Because my butter is salted, I'm not adding extra salt. Okay, and then I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to put my water, my milk, and my butter together in a separate microwavable safe bowl, and pop this in for about 15 seconds. You want it lukewarm. You don't want it to get too hot because that doesn't do well for the yeast. Thank you.
Welcome.
Butter melted? Or does it need to go in a bit longer? Should be good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, it's actually still a little solid. Another 10 seconds.
Another 10 seconds.
Of course, it always depends on how cold your ingredients are to begin with, and these were not at room temperature, so little variations there. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So that's, yeah, that works. So you want, yeah, things to be lukewarm, your butter to be melted, not get too hot. Like I said, you don't want to kill your yeast. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the butter was a little extra cold. It's still,
Another 10 seconds.
I think so. Thank you. It's getting there, but a little chilled. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
That's lukewarm. So warm but not hot is like the activation point for yeast. So we're going to bring back the flour and yeast back. Add our liquid ingredients. Into the big bowl. Stir this up again. And you want to stir until it's soft and a little sticky. And you got to get all of that in there. Scrape the sides of my beater here. So that's where the stickiest parts are. Yeah. Distribute out all of our stickiness. It grabs all the dry ingredients into it, and you get as much English muffinness as you can. So I started making English muffins, it's maybe 8 months ago, something like that. And the primary reason, my inspiration really for making them was I really love English muffins for breakfast especially. Yes, that's when most people have English muffins, but yeah. And I'm trying to cut down on my plastic usage, so I was like, well, why not make them? And I was kind of intimidated a little bit, so it's actually super, super easy, and I hope this video inspires some of you to make some too. It's actually cool to see how they come together, and yeah, super easy. So now it's all sticky in there. Oh, can you grab Catsby?
Cat removal process.
Thank you. And then could you grab me some flour? So, yeah, if you do use your hands, which I like to do when mixing dough, you should probably remember to flour your hands first, which I did not do, and now they're covered in flour. So you can, they're covered in sticky dough, so you can add some flour on later, and removes that sticky dough pretty easily. I'm going to have to fill in the water for a bit, I think, to get the rest off, but that helps get some of it. Take preemptive measures, it's always better. Okay, clean hands. Back, I'm going to scrape the sides with my rubber spatula. And yeah, so this step is done. And I'm going to cover this with a clean towel and let it sit overnight. And then we'll be back for part 2 of English muffins. So good morning, everybody. The English muffin dough has been sitting for like 16 hours at this point. And it's nice and fluffy and risen, and if you're used to making bread or pizza dough, it's not going to be like risen like that, but it just about doubles in size and it's good to go. So I've got a floured surface on my table. I'm going to put flour in my hands, flour in my rolling pin, and take my dough out. Add more flour to my hands, flour on the dough. It's super sticky. Get all of that dough incorporated in. And you know, as much as possible can become an English muffin, because you don't want to leave it in the bowl. That's boring. So I'm going to form it into I'll loosely knead it, just and roll it out. And so you got it to your desired thickness. This is about maybe half an inch thick. I'm going to cover it again with my cloth, and I guess this lets it relax.
Yeah, so you don't, when you work it, the gluten becomes tougher, and it becomes more rubbery. But if you let it relax, that yeast expands and it becomes more soft.
Light and fluffy.
Light and fluffy. It just mellows out. It's all tense right now. Just gotta take a nap, have a sip of wine, put its feet up, and then it'll be ready to go in the oven.
Okay, so we're gonna actually on the stove, but yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna let it take a 10-minute nap. Okay, the alarm clock has gone off. We're gonna lift the towel, set it aside, and then I've just got a glass here that I'm gonna use to cut the round shapes of English muffin. Twist it, and set these aside. And from one batch of English muffin dough, you should be able to get about 10 rounds. Shape as much as possible. And then, so once I've gotten all of the rounds I can get from this first go, I'm going to reflour my hands, reflour my rolling pin, and work this again, reflour my surface, roll it out, English muffin dough is pretty sensitive. We're gonna let it rest again for another 10 minutes. So we got some olive oil into our skillet. And then I'm going to use a pastry brush to push it all around, make sure the whole surface gets coated all over the place. Got my temperature on medium. And then I'm going to put my English muffins into the pan. Some of them kind of lose their shape a little bit, which is unfortunate if you want a perfect round circle, but they'll still taste good. If I can move this one around to fit my fifth one here. Okay, and then I'm going to put my cover on, and this is going to help them to create that like really English muffin-y looking appearance, and it's super cool because you're like, whoa, that's an English muffin. And I'm going to double check my recipe here. So it's going to be about 6 minutes on one side and another 4 on the other. Oops. Timer. Not cook. Okay, so I took these off the heat at about 5 minutes because they were starting to brown, and unfortunately they did get a little bit burned on the bottom, but not too bad, so just pay attention. And you can see all these air pockets here. That's caused by having the lid on top, and so that's a really important piece when you're doing English muffins. And is those air pockets are going to create that all those crannies, you know, that's perfect for your butter or your jam, or when we did the air fryer sandwiches, the mayonnaise, you know, all those places that just soak up the whatever you're putting on top of them and make them so good. So I'm going to flip these over. Oops, it's a little bit stuck. So I'm going to put them back onto my plate and re-oil this pan. Burn side, very burned. Unfortunately. Okay. Re-oil my pan. I think I had my heat up a little bit too high there. Go with more of a medium-low. Okay, and I'm gonna my muffins back in on the opposite side. And like I said, do a medium-low this time. my lid back on. And my timer on for 4 minutes. And voila, English muffins.
Those look amazing.
Yeah, a little bit on the burn side on that side. I was saying, oh, I had to turn my heat down a little bit. But yeah, these, I mean, just, if you like English muffins, definitely give these a try. Like, it's just so easy to do. I was surprised how easy to do, and it's just like, voila, you got English muffins. And yeah, if you missed our air fryer breakfast sandwich videos where we used these, definitely go back and check that out. Link's gonna be below. And otherwise, happy baking, happy day, and like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Bye everybody.